Breaking right now, Thomas Markle Jr., the sister of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has lashed out at his sister and her husband Prince Harry in the most brutal interview he has ever given.
Do you think your sister, Meghan Markle, has ruined Prince Harry?
The answer is yes. I mean, every single interview, every single picture, every place they go, Meghan grabs him. Meghan controls him. Meghan tells him no. Meghan stands in front of him. She controls every single situation like she is the star. And she's turned Prince Harry into a man of non-substance, for her own well-being.
Meghan Markle is always attempting to, shall we say, build relationships with very, very, very rich men.
Royal family, you should be so thankful this woman wanted to leave, because she's not going to bring any good to the branding of royal. She's going to downgrade it to a level of ghetto. And that's what it is. This is just bad.
And I think it was a desperate plea because they've made their bed for the last 6 years and now they're sleeping on them. And the entire world knows exactly what's happening with those two.
Do you have any advice for Harry?
Yeah, stop talking about the royals. Stop giving away all the secrets about the royals. And, love your children and love your wife, but also love your grandmother and love your father.
She doesn't know us. It's just very bizarre how she just basically brushed the entire family under the carpet like we don't exist, and then lied about not having a family and lied about she doesn't have a family that she's always wanted. We've always been here.
Harry just can't give her anything else anymore. He served his purpose. His purpose is over and they're no longer aligned in purpose. So it's time to move on.
She's already gotten the benefit of her bargain with Harry because she got the title. That's what she wanted. She wanted to be world famous. She wanted the title. You remember when Harry was single, he was the elephant. He was the one, the most eligible bachelor on earth. You could be a royal, you could become world famous overnight, you could live in a castle, you could have access to the crown jewels, you would be a princess. My God, yes, he could have had.
It's December 2025. Holiday lights everywhere, soft music, candles, smiles curated for the camera. Meghan Markle is thousands of miles away in Montecito, filming her Netflix lifestyle series, talking about compassion, healing, and family values like she's selling salvation in a silk robe. Carefully staged posts, gentle captions, warm lighting, the image of peace. And at the exact same moment, on the other side of the world in the Philippines, her 81-year-old father is lying in an ICU bed, fighting for his life after doctors amputate his leg in an emergency procedure just to keep him alive. No glamour, no filters, no music, just blood clots, fear, and survival. And Meghan? No phone call, no visit, no bedside goodbye, just a letter, not even from her, sent through representatives, cold, clinical, detached, like he wasn't her father, but a liability. A PR problem to be handled, not a man who raised her. That silence is deafening. Because this is where everything turns volatile. This is where the family fractures finally explode. Because her brother, Thomas Markle Jr., the same man who begged Prince Harry back in 2018 not to marry her, who warned him she was fake, manipulative, and dangerous, has now decided he's done holding his tongue. And this time, he's not hinting, he's not warning, he's detonating. Thomas Markle Jr. says he's writing a tell-all book, and people close to the project say this isn't about childhood squabbles or family resentment. This is about something Meghan has never explained, not once. The missing chapter, the years before Suits, when a broke actress somehow had access to billionaire yachts, elite European parties, and a lifestyle that didn't match her bank account. Photos exist, not gossip, not rumors, actual images.
It's decided you're all too big a problem. Therefore, you have to be cut loose. And I got to be honest, I knew Meghan for a bit before she met Harry, did exactly the same to me. Bang, done. She did that to many people that she knew, that she'd either worked with or was friends with or whatever. It just seems to me she's what I would call a ruthless social climber.
Meghan on luxury yachts surrounded by wealthy older men. Invitations to exclusive yacht parties were documented. Yet she has never explained who these men were, how she knew them, or who paid for the lifestyle. Every time the question comes up, silence. And now here's the problem. Her brother was there. He saw it, up close. And according to sources, he's finally ready to answer the questions she spent years dodging. Whether people believe the yacht stories or think it's family payback, what's about to surface could rip apart the image she's built piece by piece, and the timing couldn't be worse. Her father is dying. She won't even visit. And that raises a brutal question. Has Thomas Jr. finally reached the point where protecting her secrets no longer makes sense? Do you sense that maybe trouble may lay ahead? I've always thought that, honestly, he's been thinking this for years, because Thomas Jr. isn't some random troll chasing clicks. Back in 2018, before the royal wedding, he wrote an open letter to Prince Harry that went viral worldwide. No sugarcoating, no no diplomacy. He called Meghan a phony, a bully, cold, conceited. He told Harry flat out, "She's going to ruin your life." He begged him to walk away. Harry didn't listen, and everything Thomas Jr. predicted happened. Has she made any attempt to contact your father since he had his stroke? None whatsoever. No coaching, no help, no compassion, just abandonment.
That moment when Prince Harry, who's never met your father, says that Meghan has no father, what did you think of that?
I think it's horrible. The documentary is so far off on so many different...
Harry married her anyway, and what followed? The collapse of the royal family relationship, the war with William and Kate, the permanent royal exit, burned bridges everywhere, media chaos, endless victim narratives. Thomas Jr. saw it coming because he knew her before the palace polish, and you had to go and make waves and accusations. So when this same man announces a book exposing her pre-fame years, this isn't noise. This is someone with a track record of being right. If he was right about her character, then what else was he right about? I do believe Meghan is driving this whole caravan for him. The word Thomas Jr. used back then matters. Phony. You don't call your own sister that unless you've watched the act repeat itself. Over and over. That's not tabloids talking. That's lived experience. And that's why this book scares people. Because the evidence has been sitting in plain sight for years. Photos, invitations, timelines that don't add up. From 2004 to 2011, Meghan wasn't a star. She had minor TV roles, briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal, short appearances on CSI, nothing that explains yachts in Monaco.
She sit there saying, "I so love my family, my family love me," and ruthlessly cut you, Tom Sr. and Samantha out of her life.
That Meghan Markle really did expect Harry to be a billionaire when she met him. She was incredibly disappointed to find out he's only worth a couple million, and she's gonna have to actually work and hawk these jams and jellies and dog biscuits to have the lifestyle that...
Yet there she was, on yachts, in elite European circles, with men whose names never appear anywhere. When one person tells lies and then tells 10 other lies to cover the one lie, author Kirby Summers documented Meghan being invited to Yacht Week 2016 in Croatia. GQ itself described Yacht Week as a floating playground of excess. Elite, closed door, powerful people only. And again, no explanation. Ever. So ask yourself, how does a broke actress afford nonstop Europe trips? Who were those men? Who paid? And what kind of relationships were those? Because elite yacht culture is well documented. Young women don't just wander onto billionaire decks by accident. Doors are opened, introductions are made, and those connections can launch careers faster than auditions ever could. And look at the timeline. She meets Trevor Engelson, Hollywood producer. Soho House enters the picture. Marcus Anderson, power players, elite circles. That's where the doors open. Not casting calls, not luck, and if anyone saw how it really happened, it was her brother. Number one, no more lying. Siblings see everything. The money that doesn't match the income, the people who come and go, the phone calls, the secrets. Thomas Jr. isn't guessing. According to insiders, he's ready to name names. Real relationships, real events, things that directly contradict the image Meghan sells today. He announced the book in May 2025, and he didn't speak gently. He said he wants to correct what he called her nonsensical stories. That's not nostalgia, that's war. And the timing says everything. She launches a Netflix show about authenticity while he prepares to expose what he says is fiction. I made one dumb mistake and I'm never being forgiven for it. Family remembers the truth even when the public story changes. And when someone decides they're done staying silent, nothing can stop it from becoming public. And then comes December 3rd. Thomas Markle Sr. goes into emergency surgery. Doctors amputate his leg. Life or death. His son is there, caregiving, watching his father suffer. And Meghan? Silence. Then a letter. Through intermediaries, no call, no visit, no presence. And that changes something inside a person. Why protect someone who won't stand beside you when it matters most? According to sources, Thomas Jr. feels he has nothing left to lose. And Meghan has never answered the yacht questions. Not once. No denial, no explanation. Silence. And silence is loud. The record between 2004 and 2011 is thin, oddly quiet, almost erased. And if this book fills in those blanks, it could change everything. Because her entire brand depends on authenticity, compassion, trust. If that story cracks, companies will start asking who they really partnered with. Netflix will start asking questions, and Harry will face one brutal truth. Did he really know who he married? That's why those years stay locked down, because once the truth comes out, there's no spin left. And now, as December 2025 moves forward, her father recovers from amputation, her brother writes, and she manages it all from California, through representatives. Thomas Jr. was right once, and if he's right again, this time, the fallout will be impossible to contain. Because once secrets come from someone who was actually there, they stop being rumors. And that's what makes this moment terrifying. Not gossip, memory. And that's the part people keep overlooking. This isn't just about old photos or whispers from the past. This is about silence stacked on top of silence until it becomes impossible to ignore. Because when someone spends years carefully curating their image, every unanswered question starts to look intentional. And Meghan has had countless chances to shut this down cleanly. One statement, one explanation, one timeline that actually adds up. Instead, she chose nothing, and nothing fuels suspicion faster than that. Think about it. Public figures deny false stories all the time. They correct the record. They provide context. They move on. Meghan never does when it comes to those years. The yachts, the travel, the access. Her team doesn't deny it outright. They don't clarify. They just wait for the noise to fade. And that strategy only works until someone with first-hand knowledge decides they're done playing along. That's where Thomas Jr. becomes dangerous to her carefully built narrative. Because he isn't speculating, he isn't reading old blogs, he lived it. He watched the sudden lifestyle shift. He saw the connections appear out of nowhere. He noticed the money that didn't match the jobs. And siblings don't forget those things, no matter how much time passes or how polished the public story becomes. And people forget something important about family tell-alls. They hit differently, not because every word is automatically true, but because family members know where the bodies are buried. They know which stories are exaggerated. They know which timelines don't make sense. They remember who paid for what and who showed up when things were hard. And that memory doesn't disappear just because someone marries into royalty or rebrands themselves as a lifestyle icon. What pushed this from simmering resentment to full-blown exposure mode seems obvious now. Watching his father lose a leg, sitting in a hospital room, being the one making life or death decisions, and realizing that his sister, with all her wealth, access, and global platform, wouldn't even show up. That kind of realization breaks whatever loyalty was left, because at that point, protecting someone's secret starts to feel foolish. And here's the part that really stings. Meghan talks endlessly about compassion, about empathy, about healing generational wounds. She sells it as a philosophy, as a brand, but compassion isn't a podcast topic. It's showing up when things are ugly. It's picking up the phone when it's inconvenient. And when people see that gap between the message and the behavior, it becomes impossible to unsee. That's why this book, if it comes out the way insiders are suggesting, won't just be another celebrity expose. It will directly collide with the image she's selling right now. The wholesome guide, the woman who wants to teach the world how to live better. Because if her own past is filled with half-truths and omissions, people will start questioning why they trusted her voice in the first place. And then there's Harry, always hovering in the background of this story. He gave up everything for her. Family, country, duty. He defended her fiercely, publicly, repeatedly. If Thomas Jr. reveals things Harry didn't know, or worse, things he chose to ignore, that opens an entirely new layer of fallout. Because people won't just ask what Meghan hid, they'll ask what Harry knew and when. That's why the stakes are so high. This isn't just family drama spilling into public view. This threatens the foundation of their entire post-royal identity, the victim narrative, the authenticity pitch, the moral high ground. All of it depends on the audience believing the story they've been told from the beginning. And once doubt creeps in, it spreads fast, especially when the source isn't a tabloid, isn't a blogger, isn't an anonymous insider, but a brother who has already been proven right once before. A brother who warned the world and was ignored. A brother who now feels abandoned when it mattered most. People keep asking if Thomas Jr. is doing this for money or revenge. But sometimes it's simpler than that. Sometimes people just reach a point where silence feels heavier than speaking, where watching someone rewrite history while you hold the real memories becomes unbearable. And once that line is crossed, there's no walking it back. So now everything hangs in the balance. Does the book come out exactly as promised? Do publishers get cold feet? Does Meghan's team try to shut it down quietly before it sees daylight? Or does this finally become the moment when the unanswered questions get answers? Because one thing is certain, the past doesn't stay buried forever. Not when there are photos, not when there are witnesses, and definitely not when the people who were once protecting the story decide they're done protecting anyone but themselves. And if Thomas Jr. really does lay it all out, names, timelines, connections, then this stops being about gossip entirely. It becomes about credibility, about truth versus branding, about whether the woman selling authenticity has been hiding the most important parts of her own story all along. And once that door opens, no amount of PR can close it again.